Hello, everybody. This is Harvard and Zack sitting here at the sports book in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you know what? Let's talk about what we did last week. Everybody always wants to make sure that you're transparent, and we have no problem being that now that we're 8-6 on the 10-star plays, which is exactly 75%. But we did come out flinging with that Kansas State game, and I'll tell you what, they started off okay, and then those back-to-back long runs, you just couldn't overcome that. But they had two quick back-to-back scores. We put up 44 points, getting +5, so there's 49, and we just couldn't get the job done. But you know what? There's nothing to be embarrassed. Anytime you put out an underdog that scores 44 points, you're not looking too bad.
That's
but what did we do? That's the Big 12. That's college football once in a while. I like that. I'm almost always on the right side of those games. 44 points and getting points, I would probably sell a couple cars just to get that. Maybe put up some of these rings or something like that, But anyway, what did you do? The sign of a good handicapper is not if you lose one and you're in the game. The sign of a good handicapper is how you come back the next day. We came right back with a 10-star firing on the Washington Redskins. They put up 47 points and won the game easily over the New Orleans Saints. So there we got, Zach. We put up a total of 91 points on two underdogs looking to win outright. So that's the type of games that you get. You're not going to look at the first score and you're down 32-0 when you're dealing with Zach and myself on games that we agree on. So we ended up splitting, no big deal, but we did on our 3 for the money. We did go 2-1, and so that brings our total for the 3 for the money to 42-24. Now that's 64%, which is incredible for a 66 game sample.
Yeah.
And then 8-6 on our 10-star plays, 75%. And Zach and I, he found a game he absolutely loves. And meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, I found a game I absolutely love. We put our heads together. We both love each one. So we're going to have a 2-game college NCAA parlay of the year. Now, on that, Zach, we're not saying you have to just go out and the only way you can play it is parlay it. You could sit there and use both of them to key 2 or 3 other games.
Yep.
With yours, a key 2 or 3 other games with mine. You can put a 2-team parlay together. You can bet both of them straight, but you're going to get both games with one click.
Yes.
So make sure that you take care of that, and we'll have that up for you by the time this video is up, so we should be able to get you started with that. Meanwhile, let's look at the Buffalo-New England Patriot game. Right now, the line opened at 7. It's pretty much staying there. I'll tell you up front, I like Buffalo. I like Carlos Williams. He's got a 6.2 season average rushing. LaShawn McCoy, 4.7, almost 5 yards per carry. And Buffalo has won 2 in a row. They look really energized. They look focused. I don't care what Rex Ryan does, but these two teams, they looked fantastic. Sammy Watkins, man, did he run some circles around Darrelle Revis? I loved how he came out of the box, and I think he's going to be an absolute difference maker for this game. On the offensive line for New England, I don't know how Tom Brady keeps doing it. My God, they have a makeshift offensive line. He did get sacked 3 times, and it's increasing each time. Deion Lewis is out, and the replacements only replaced his season average. They only carried the ball for a 3.3 yard average, resulting in 7 of 14 first downs on third. So the thing that they got to do is, why can't they go right up against the line of scrimmage and just bust Gronk, slow him down, delay him somewhat? That way the safety can see where the other routes are being run, and then he can come up on them and kind of like spy him, shadow him, so they don't have that stupid idiot in the middle of the field wide open, catch it and running it for 60, 70 yards. That's the only thing you got to do against New England this time of the year. So my take is taking Buffalo plus the 7 points. Huge rivalry game, huge coaching matchup. So that's where I'm going. How do you see this?
Yeah, for me, I'm on the Bills as well, and it's just value-based. Remember week 2 when Buffalo came off that win against Indianapolis and everybody was buying Rex Ryan, buying the Bills? That line 2.5 on the Patriots. By kickoff, it was -1.
And that's when Tyler Tyrod was like, he looked like he was a deer. It's his second start and all that, so he's got some time behind him. And I forgot about that. That's a huge good point there, Zach.
Yep, so we're talking about an 8-point swing, and we're talking also about the health, and the Bills has came back. LaShawn McCoy finally healthy. Tyra Taylor 2-3 games back from that knee injury. Sammy Watkins, he's healthy. And now the Patriots, you talked about Deion Lewis out for the year. They have no replacement for the pass catching running back that Tommy Brady's been used to with Danny Woodhead, with Shane Vereen, now a giant, who's stepping into that void. Last week, nobody was able to do it out of the backfield. So that is one area where Tom Brady doesn't have his safety net. Secondarily, his other safety net at wide receiver, Julian Edelman, out 4 to 6 weeks, maybe longer with that broken foot. So Tom Brady's going to have to find a way to hit these other targets to have an advantage with it, and I don't think that's going to happen. They could eke out a win like they did last week against the Giants. I'm not saying they're not going to lose this game or they're not going to win this game, but I think 7 points is too many points.
Absolutely. And
8-point swing.
I like the fact that Taylor, that second game, I've forgotten all about that. You know how important it is to, when you come up against your first game against a huge name like Brady and Belichick and the Patriots, the defending champions, and here he's out there, game 2 of his whole life. And, that could make you a little bit nervous and things like that. So I like that point, and I'm agreeing with you. So there you got it. 2 heads are better than one. Let's go to that Monday night game. I believe Cincinnati is playing at Arizona. You and I were both on our Sunday night game. You and I were both on Houston on Monday night, and we see the line opened at 3.5, and it's already up to 5.5. That game's going to go to 6. I played Houston Monday night, but I'm not really sure. I know why I played it. I'm not sure why they won so easily, though. They have a really good. Cincinnati's got a really good defense. They're in the top 5 to 10 in the main 3 classes of rushing totals, point totals, and defensive totals. The offense, they averaging only 19 points per game over the last 3 games, and in the NFL, with some of the teams they've been playing, if you're only averaging 19 points, you're not going to be winning too many games, especially as a favorite like they were Monday night. Now this week, sure, they're getting +5, but they've had Dalton 3 sacks, no touchdowns, 4 for 14 on third downs last week. But overall, he's had 14 sacks this year, and his touchdown to interception ratio isn't that good at 18 to 5 interceptions. So here's the difference. When they woke up Tuesday morning, they woke up absolutely depressed. They're on a short week. There's all kinds of chaos about what went wrong. As much as I don't know what went wrong, I'm sure they don't either. They're on a short week, and they got to know that Arizona got the day off on Monday after blitzing through Seattle, coming home Sunday night, and then taking all Monday off. They're playing with a great emotion, enthusiasm moving forward, where Cincinnati has to rally and make that trip back to the West Coast. The Arizona Cardinals, they're also 3 games up in the NFC West. They're 4th in passing, 8th in rushing, 2nd in points at 33 points per game. Their defense is 3rd yards allowed, 11th in points allowed, 4th against the run. They got every stat that you need to. In fact, I tell you what, I think they're the best team in the NFC conference. Larry Fitzgerald looks like he's been re-energized. And the Cards, Zach, what you got to look at, forget if they're the best team for the whole league, forget about if they're the best team for the entire season. They're the best team playing right now this particular week. Cincinnati, on the other hand, is not the best team. So that's why I'm going to be ahead. I laid the 3.5, but I'm pushing the lay the 5. I don't think it'll be much of a contest.
Yeah, I have to side with you on the Arizona Cardinals. I won't wager this one, but for video purposes, I think it's a little bit too high right now at 5. But we'll talk about a few things we've talked about this season. Arizona Cardinals 13-3 at home under Bruce Arians and Carson Palmer. Those 3 losses in their division against the Rams, 49ers, Seahawks. 2 of those losses were in 2013, mind you. But they know how to. They play well at home. The crowd, Arizona has one of the best home fan bases. I'll call them bandwagon fans, but when they're winning, they're going to be there, and they're going to be supporting. It's the 5th most populated city in the United States, so obviously they're going to be there. And the motivational factor, we'll touch on two more motivational factors. Obviously, Carson Palmer. Remember how he was axed by Cincinnati Bengals, was forced out of football for a year because they wouldn't get rid of him the proper way. That has to be on the back of Carson Palmer's mind. He's going to want to gunsling that ball, and Bruce Arians, best offensive mastermind in football, in my opinion. He'll get him enough looks to tear apart that Cincinnati Bengals defense. The other motivational factor, Arizona Cardinals, if you look at the past 2 seasons, they've had probably the worst stretch you could have in the last 6 games of the season besides the Dallas Cowboys. Last year, remember, they started 9-1, then they finished 2-4 because of the quarterback situation with Drew Stanton and Ryan Lindley. 2013, they were one of the few teams that ever finished 10-6 and not make the playoffs because they lost that last game against the San Francisco 49ers. So this is a team that is sensing the urgency. They don't want to be in that position again, and they have so many veterans from those 2 years.
Time to turn it on.
Yep, time to turn it on. And Andy Dalton, when he's bad, he's bad. You can put him up there with Cam Newton and Joe Flacco. Those guys are so hot and cold. When they hit those cold phases, it's a good time to fade them. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals will join the Packers and Broncos that were undefeated a few weeks ago, and then they strung up their consecutive losses. I think the Bengals will be right there with them.
Well, another thing, when Dalton got rejected by the Bengals, did he sit out that year?
Palmer.
And then?
Yep.
Palmer, and then he went to the Raiders.
Yep.
So that shows the depth of what you're talking about, with probably that type of professional that will really put a show on against his former team.
Yep.
The other thing is, if you really want to know how well Arizona is playing, Arizona, when they played last week at Seattle, they scored 39 points, which was the most points allowed in Seattle in 5 years. But more importantly, they're the first to have a 350-yard passing and 100 yards of rushing in the history up there in Seattle. They put them both together, and that shows you exactly what they're going to do this week. So I agree that you and I agree, but I disagree that you backing off that game. I want to go ahead and make sure you should be. I'm telling you, lay it at 5.5. Fine. If it's at 6, maybe back off a tad, but I think it's going to be 6 by game time anyway. So do what you got to do. And meanwhile, the basketball is incredible. 4-0 in the NBA, 1-0 in colleges. That club, we're going to get it up there now that we've tested the waters and everything for the NBA. It's the 888 NBA club. It's a very lucky number out here for a lot of people, the 888 NBA club, and we respect that, and we are going to honor it this year with a club of itself, the 888 NBA club. Meanwhile, we're going to have daily college plays, probably not on some Friday, Saturdays and Sundays and things right now while football's going on, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, take a look. I'm sure that you're going to be very, very happy with the fact that the books, they got to put, in fact, if you look right behind me, all those numbers they had to put up on the basketball games. We only have to pick one of them that they really missed the numbers. And I think we'll find that out. You don't have to watch it. Make money while you sleep. You don't have to worry about it. It's a great investment. It builds up your bankroll so you can pound them. It's almost like free plays every Saturday and Sunday in the football once you've pounded the basketball and built your bankroll up. There's some rule changes. The free throws are going to be a lot more of a winning, decisive thing because of the way the teams are shooting free throws. The teams that shoot the better free throws are going to win a lot more games and cover a lot more spreads just based on the rule changes. And I want you to come back this week to get Zack's top play. His parlay of the year goes along with mine, so there's going to be 2 games, and 2 heads are better than 1. 18-6 on 10 stars, looking to go to 20-6, and 42, 24-2 on the 3 for the money play. So that's it for week 11 or 12, whatever it is. 11, I think 11, man. It's going by fast, so we'll talk to you next week.